This is Marcia, Emmy's mama, and this is a true story that happened to us on the night of December 7th, 2025. I make a habit of unplugging things when not in use, but that night, for some reason, I had forgotten. I thank God for Emmy. She is my little hero. And now she will tell you the story from her point of view, and thanks for listening.
The Night I Heard the Smoke Whisper by Emmi. I don't remember the exact moment the danger started. I don't think any dog ever really does. Humans always think emergencies happen with loud bangs or bright flashes or dramatic thunderclaps, but most of the time, danger begins as a feeling, a little twitch somewhere inside your chest, a change in the temperature of the air, a sound so soft you can't explain it, a scent you've never smelled before, curling into your nose like a thin, trembling thread. And that night the thread found me. I was lying at Mama's feet, curled up in my usual little Emmy ball, the dead grass of my coat blending into her blankets. I could hear her podcast, some voice talking about life or science or mysteries. I wasn't paying attention. My job at night isn't listening to her podcasts. My job is listening to the world. The house was sleeping, quiet and still. Indy was down the hall, sighing into one of his weird, twisted sleeping positions that only a lab husky thinks is comfortable. Hunter was in his favorite spot like always. The dark brown of his coat melted into the shadows. Everything was normal. Until it wasn't. At first, it was only the tiniest irritation in my nose, like a tickle, like something sharp and hot brushing the inside of my nostrils. I scrushed my face, sniffed again. The air near the floor was different, warmer, thicker. Not quite right. A scent with an edge. I lifted my head. Sniff. Sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff, sniff. There it was again. Something burning. Not a good burning, not food burning, not turkey or chicken, or the time Mama overcooked bacon and pretended she meant to. No, this was bitter, metallic, worrying. My ears tilted. My heart gave a small, quick thump. I sat up fully and inhaled. Hot air. Wrong air. Air that didn't belong in our home. My whole body went alert, every strand of fur standing up, as if the air itself whispered right into my ear. Emmy, wake her up, now. I didn't hesitate. I jumped to my feet, rushed up to Mama and placed my paw on her leg, firm at first, then harder when she didn't react. Mama, I tried to say, even though she couldn't understand my words, Mama, wake up. She mumbled something, half asleep, not taking me seriously. I pawed her again, more urgently. Nothing. I let out a whimper, one of those deep, chesty whimpers that carries worry in it, even if the sound is soft. It finally got her attention. She lifted her head, blinking at me. What, Emmy? Baby, what's wrong? But she still didn't get up. She thought I wanted to play. She thought I was just being silly, dramatic Emmy. I couldn't waste time. I pawed her again, hard enough that my nails clicked against her skin through the blanket. Then I nudged her shoulder, shoved her arm with my muzzle, whined louder, pleading. Something in my eyes must have reached her. Humans think dogs can't express emotions the same way, but oh, do they listen when the fear inside us leaks out through our days. She sat up fully. What, Emmy? What's going on? Come, I urged. Now! I spun toward the hallway. When she still didn't rise fast enough, I came back, nudged her again, then ran out of the room. This time she followed. Down the hallway I flew, nails ticking across the floor, tail low, ears forward, nostrils flaring as the smell grew stronger with every step toward the front of the house. Mama hurried behind me, but she didn't smell it yet. Humans have such slow noses, bless their hearts. They can't sense danger until it slaps them in the face. Dogs don't get that luxury. When we reached the living room, it hit her too. She stopped mid-step. Wait, what's that smell? There, I told her silently. I ran to the crockpot, sitting on the counter by the front room curtains. It was glowing faintly hot, soft tendrils of smoke rising from the metal, curling around the fabric dangerously close. Mama gasped. Oh my God! She lunged toward it, careful but frantic, unplugging it in one sharp move. Smoke puffed into the air like an angry breath. She grabbed the cord, yanked it away from the curtains, pulled the crockpot to a safe spot where it could cool down. I stayed right next to her the entire time, muscles trembling, ears still pinned forward, ready to bark or nudge her again if she needed it. Once the immediate danger was gone, Mama sank down to her knees beside me. She wrapped her arms around my neck and pressed her face into my fur. Oh my God, Emmi. Oh my God, you saved us. You saved all of us. Her voice broke, and the moment the fear left my body, mine did too. My legs felt shaky with the leftover terror. I leaned into her, letting her hold me, knowing she needed the warmth of me as much as I needed the steady, soothing rhythm of her breathing. Behind us, Indy padded in slowly, confused by the commotion. Hunter followed, sniffing the air, then looking at me with a silent question. It's okay, I told them with a small wag. We're safe, Mama's safe, everything's okay now. But inside me, something else echoed. We almost weren't.
Our home is small and long, shaped like the belly of a gentle creature sleeping in the grass. Mama always says living in a mobile home feels like living in a little ship anchored on land. Everything close, everything cozy, everything easy to protect if you know where to stand and how to listen. I know every sound this home makes. I know the pop the heater gives when it turns on. I know how the refrigerator hums a lullaby when the kitchen lights are off. I know the whisper the curtains make when they sway because someone opened the front door too fast. I know the shuffle of Indy's big paws and the quiet thump of Hunter settling down. And I know the gentle rhythm of Mama's breathing at night. Slow, soft, something that always makes my eyes grow heavy with peace. But that night, none of the house's normal sounds were there. Everything felt too quiet, too still, like the house was trying to hold its breath. Sometimes danger doesn't make noise. Sometimes danger steals noise. And that silence woke my instincts faster than any explosion ever could. Before the scent, before the heat, before the smoke, there was that silence. It slithered down the hall, into Mama's room, and tapped me on the nose. Wake up, Emmi. I listened, and then the scent drifted in like a thin gray ribbon curling under the door. Danger doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers.
What humans forget is that danger doesn't have to be enormous to be deadly. A spark no bigger than a bee can turn into a monster without warning if it finds the right place to grow. That crockpot had been used thousands of times. It had fed us, warmed soups, made good smells on cold mornings. But that night it became something else. It was left plugged in, too close to the curtains that I helped pick out when Mama brought them home. They were soft and smelled faintly like sunshine and laundry detergent. I liked the way they moved in the breeze, but they would have burned fast enough to swallow the walls, then the ceiling, then us. Mama didn't know. She didn't hear the faint crackle. She didn't smell the melting metal. But I did. People sometimes say dogs react out of instinct, not thought. But they're wrong. There's a moment, clear and sharp, when the world stands still, and we choose. We choose whether to ignore the feeling or run toward it, whether to assume everything is fine or go wake the person we love most in the world. I chose her. I always will. I know Mama.
I know her sighs, her smiles, the way her breathing changes when she's drifting toward sleep. I know the soft spot she has for us, especially me, her girl. But humans sleep deeply. They don't hear the danger the way we do. Pawing her felt wrong at first. I never bother her when she's resting. But the smell was stronger now, thickening like a warning cloud. I pawed harder each time, my heart bumping against my ribs like a bird trying to escape a cage. She didn't hear the danger. She didn't know it was already forming, already growing. But she heard me. She listened to me. And when she finally stood, barefoot, confused, tired, I felt a rush of relief so strong it nearly knocked me over. The living room wasn't far, but the smell was waiting for us, waiting like a shadow. Humans rely on their eyes. I rely on my nose. She didn't see the danger until she walked right into it. The pot glowing hotter, a thin snake of smoke climbing into the air, almost invisible in the dark. She inhaled sharply. Oh no. Her fear wasn't loud. It was a quiet gasp, a breath that punched her lungs from the inside. And she moved. She moved fast. She pulled the crockpot away from the curtains that were already warm to the touch, inches, seconds from catching. She unplugged it, hands shaking. I stayed right at her side, unwilling to leave her alone even for a heartbeat. Dogs don't have hands. We can't unplug cords. We can't move burning things. But we can wake the ones who can. She knelt beside me afterward, burying her face in my fur like she needed to inhale the safety of it. Oh my God, Emmi. Her voice cracked. You saved us. Her tears soaked into my neck. Hot, trembling tears. I licked her cheek gently. Of course I saved you. That's what you do for the ones you love. That's what family means. The house smelled wrong for a long time afterward. Smoke is clingy. It hangs on, hiding in corners, coating walls, sticking to air vents. Even after Mama opened windows and the night breeze flowed in, the scent left little shadows everywhere. Indy sniffed the area, tail low, concern written all over his face, in that earnest lab husky way. Hunter stood guard by the front door, deep brown eyes narrowed, muscles alert like he was ready to fight the smoke if it dared come back. But Mama, she didn't want to let me go. She sat on the couch, pulled me up next to her, even though I usually stay on the floor, and held me close with both arms wrapped around my chest. Her fingers kept moving through my fur like she needed to feel the shape of me to believe I was real. You saved me, she whispered again. You saved Indy. You saved Hunter. You saved yourself, and you saved me. I didn't need her gratitude. I didn't save her for praise or treats or attention. I saved her because she's my world. The soft sniffle of her crying made my chest tighten. I nuzzled her chin. Sometimes humans forget dogs cry too. We just don't make the same sounds. She kept whispering thanks, her voice cracking each time, and I kept leaning into her, soft and steady. The night slowly settled back into silence, but it was different now, heavy, thoughtful, fragile. Eventually she said, I could have lost everything tonight. I pressed my forehead gently against hers. Not while I'm here. Mama didn't sleep the rest of the night. She kept looking over at the curtains, touching the crock pot like she needed to make sure it was really unplugged. Sometimes she'd just look at me, eyes glistening, and then pet me all over again. I stayed awake too, right next to her, my head resting on her knee. Every once in a while, she'd whisper, my girl, and kiss the top of my head. Indy eventually lay down beside us, his big, fluffy body pressed against Mama's legs. He gave me a slow wag of his tail like he was saying, Good job, sis, you did good. Hunter took his spot just in front of the couch, our quiet protector, his eyes drifting open and shut, but never sleeping fully. The whole house stayed awake with us, thinking, breathing, grateful. And though I didn't understand every human detail about what could have happened, I understood enough. If I hadn't woken Mama, the smoke would have grown, the curtain would have ignited, the fire would have spread, and the place we call home might have disappeared in a storm of flames. We might have disappeared with it. But we didn't, because something deep inside me said, "Get up." And I listened. Humans always ask how we sense danger. Is it instinct? Is it smell? Is it training? Is it just luck? But the truth is simpler. We feel our humans. We feel their space, their breath, their heartbeat, the rhythm of their world. And when something interrupts that rhythm, even slightly, it hits us like a soft alarm bell. Something wasn't right. Something was shifting. Something was heating the air in a way that spelled danger even before smoke appeared. Dogs don't need to understand electricity or appliances or fire hazards. We only need to understand love. And we do. Better than anything. When dawn finally came, weak and pale through the windows, Mama looked exhausted. Her eyes were puffy, her cheeks damp from crying. She held me again, pressing her forehead against mine. She whispered, "I would have never forgiven myself if something happened to you, to Indy, to Hunter." I licked her nose softly, but in her eyes I could see the truth. She wasn't thinking about herself. She wasn't afraid of losing the house. She wasn't afraid of losing her things. She was afraid of losing us. That's the kind of love that holds a family together. And that's the kind of love I woke her for. The next day, Mama kept looking over at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Not just as her sweet girl, not just as her silly, sometimes bratty, playful puppy heart, but as something else, as her guardian, as her protector, as the reason she was standing here in the bright daylight, hugging us all extra tight. She kept saying variations of the same sentence. "I can't believe it. You saved us. You really saved us. I could have lost everything. I can't stop thinking about it." Every time she said it, I wagged my tail gently, not out of pride, but out of relief. The world can change in a single breath, but ours didn't. Because I woke up, because she listened, because we're a team. And teams take care of each other. Humans sometimes think we love them because they feed us, or play with us, or scratch our ears in the perfect way. But the truth is so much deeper. I love Mama because she's my anchor, my constant, the one whose footsteps I know by sound alone, the one whose voice pulls me out of nightmares, the one who calls me my girl. My get means the world. I love her because she takes care of me and Indy and Hunter, because she sees us not as pets, but as family. And you protect family, always. Not because you're trained, not because you're brave, not because you're strong, but because love is stronger than fear. That night, love guided me. Love walked me down the hallway. Love made me paw her awake. Love made me stand between her and danger. And love kept the fire from ever becoming more than smoke. When the sun fully rose, turning the sky gold and soft pink, Mama finally tried to lie down for a nap. She was exhausted. I climbed into bed beside her, not at the foot this time, not in my usual spot. I lay right against her chest, my head tucked under her chin.
She wrapped her arms around me and whispered, "My hero." I closed my eyes, letting her heartbeat settle me into a calm warmth. But every time she shifted, even slightly, I lifted my head to check on her. Even when she breathed differently, I opened my eyes to make sure nothing was wrong. It would be a long time before I slept deeply again. But I didn't mind. Protecting her is the easiest promise I've ever made. Dogs don't brag. We don't write our stories down. We don't make our achievements known unless someone gives us a treat and says, "Good girl." But some stories need to be told. Not because I am proud of myself, though Mama calls me a hero so much now that sometimes my tail can't help but wag when she says it. Not because it was dramatic, though it was. Not because it was dangerous, though it was more dangerous than Mama let herself think. This story needs to be told because sometimes humans forget how closely we watch them, how deeply we feel their world, how fast we run when their safety's at stake. We are dogs. This is what we do. Even when the danger is small at first, even when our humans are sleeping, even when the world is quiet, especially then, because love is loud, even in silence. Since that night, Mama touches the walls differently, like she's grateful they're still standing. She hugs Indy and Hunter and me more. She unplugs everything before bed, but most importantly, she looks at me with a softness that wasn't there before. Like she sees something in me she didn't know she had. A guardian, a partner, a protector. But the truth is, I've always been those things. Every dog is. Every dog loves this deeply. That night didn't change who I was. It only reminded Mama who I will always be. Her Emmi, her shadow in the hallway, her warmth in the cold, her alarm when something's wrong, her safety when danger whispers. And I will listen every time. Sometimes, late at night now, Mama reaches over to gently stroke my side. She doesn't say anything at first. She just touches me like she's making sure I'm real and breathing beside her. And I am. I wiggle closer, rest my chin on her arm, and breathe with her until she falls asleep. The house is peaceful again. The air is clean. The curtains move with calm little sways. Indy snores softly. Hunter guards the hallway with slow blinks. Everything is safe. And when the world gets quiet, truly quiet, I can hear the house breathing again. Soft, slow, peaceful breaths. I listen. I watch. I wait. Not out of fear, but out of love. Because danger can whisper. And so can gratitude. And some whispers deserve to be heard forever.